Now today I'm going to be making chocolate brownies. Now these are going to be chocolate brownies with a selection of nuts. Now it's a nice easy recipe and they taste absolutely scrummy, so give them a go. So for making up these chocolate brownies, just going to go through the ingredients I'm going to use. Now I've got my sugar there. I've got 275 grams of sugar. This is golden caster sugar. If you haven't got the golden caster sugar, but you've got caster sugar or even granulated sugar, just use what you've got. I've got 175 grams of butter, 75 grams of plain flour, 3 large eggs. Then I've got a selection of roasted nuts. Now I've got 150 grams and in there's a really good mixture. But if you haven't got a mixed bag of nuts, use whatever nuts you want to use. Now these ones, for instance, got walnuts, pecan, pistachios, cashews, hazelnuts and almonds. So nice selection there. Now I've also got 1/4 teaspoon, so small amount of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and finally I've got some chocolate. I've got 125 grams of dark chocolate. Now when I'm making things like brownies, I tend to use a chocolate that's about 70% cocoa. So, you know, that's a good one if you want to make a really nice brownie. So there's all the ingredients. Now what I'm going to do is go over to the hob and we're going to start off by melting the chocolate and the butter together. So I've come over to the hob and we're going to start melting this chocolate and the butter together. Now for that I've got a pan. In the bottom there you'll see there's a tiny little bit of water there, not very much, and I've got a bowl. It's important the bowl doesn't touch the water because all we're going to do is switch it on and I'm just going to, you know, get the water to slightly steam and that's going to warm the bowl up and it's going to melt the chocolate. So got the temperature on. You only need to do it very, very low, so we can turn this down. And what we do is just pour the chocolate in there. Try and break it up if you can. You know, it just makes it a bit quicker to melt. And we're going to put that lovely big block of butter in there. And what you want to do is just leave that to sort of gently simmer away. And when it's all nicely melted, then we can take it off the heat and we can go over and get on with the rest of it. So leave that, give it the occasional stir, but make sure the temperature is fairly low. Now with the chocolate, that's all melted with the butter. So just about all nicely melted there. Lovely, look at that, beautiful. Now that only took, I don't know, 10 minutes nearly. Do it nice and slow though. Now that's done, I'm gonna switch that off the heat, go over to the table and we're going to start mixing up the sugar and the eggs. So now while we've got the chocolate just cooling down slightly, now what I am going to do is just put the 3 eggs, try and make sure there's no shell if you can, and then we've got the sugar, like that. Now what we're going to do is just very lightly mix these together. I mean, you could obviously do this by hand with a hand whisk, but if you've got the electric one, just makes your life easier. Now don't mix it too much, just very lightly. Now whisk that up. Now we may as well just pop the flour in there. And then I've got the baking powder. Little bit of salt, and again just give it a very gentle mix together. That's it. Now we've got the rest of the ingredients, which is going to be the nuts, and then finally we've got the chocolate. Now try and make sure that's just cooled down slightly. If it's still a bit hot, you know, just wait a few more minutes and then we can mix it all together. And then what you do is just put it into a baking tin. So I'm just going to leave my chocolate just for like a couple minutes more, just to cool down slightly, and then we're going to put it in that mixture. So I just left the chocolate just a little bit longer to cool down. Now what I'm going to do is just pour that in, all goes in that bowl. I'm using this silicone spatula to try and make sure we get it all out. There you go. And what we can do is just give that good old mix together. There you go. All nicely mixed, ready to go in the baking tin. So let's go and grab a baking tin. So I've got my baking tin. Now I put a very fine layer of butter, just wiped a little bit, nice and quick, over the bottom. Now the size of mine, just to show you, is about 25 centimetres, so roughly 10 inches, and that's about 20 centimetres, so again, roughly about 8 inches. So there we go, that's ready to go. Now, what we can do is just pour everything in the tin. Again, get it all out with that spatula. There you go. Lovely. Beautiful. Look at that mixture. Looks absolutely scrummy yummy. Now, I'm just waiting for the oven to come up to temperature, and I'm going to place it in the preheated oven. About in the middle of the oven. Now, I've got my temperature set 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 degrees Fahrenheit, gas mark 4. Now, cook time, I would say you're looking at about 30 minutes, but check it just before there. It should be just slightly springy in the middle when you sort of press on it, and then you can take it out, let it cool down and enjoy. Now, I've had the chocolate brownie cooking just coming up for 30 minutes, so let's have a little look at that. Yeah, that's nice and springy. So I'm going to take that out, leave it to cool right down, and then we're going to try some. So let's pull that out of the oven. So I've taken the chocolate brownie out of the oven, leave it to cool right down, and then we can chop it up and enjoy some. Now, I've got my chocolate brownie there. Obviously you could pick it up with your hands, but you know, I'm going to use a spoon. Ooh, look at this. Look at that, lovely with the nuts. That is really moist, I can tell that. Let me try this and see how it is. Mm. 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 That chocolate brownie. It's so chocolatey, it's beautiful. I think it's a mixture of the butter, the chocolate. It's so moist, it is wonderful. And they're all like this. That is the good thing, they're all like this. Make this up and you know, let it cool down, and they are absolutely delicious. And I really like the idea of having a nut in there, any nuts, because it gives it a little bit of crunch. And really, when you sort of serve this up, you could have cream, ice cream. In my case, I'm just going to have an English cup of tea. Oh, lovely. Lovely cup of tea, wonderful. Go and make this because it's a really simple recipe. And look at this, it is just falling apart, delicious, it's melting in your mouth. Wonderful. Oh, let's just get that bit on the spoon there. Look at that. Go for it. Enjoy. Thanks for watching my videos. Don't forget the ratings and those comments, because not been so many recently, but I do look out for those comments. I'll see you in the next one. The original Naked Chef. Delish.